Esports versus MG Trust. So don't go anywhere after this. There's plenty more Dota to go. Till then, however, back to TNC versus 032.
Yeah. It's like, 032 is still in good spirits. Yeah, they're a pretty fresh team as well considered, right? Like, Adroit did release these players fairly recently, so they didn't have too much time to get practice in. Wow, must love Masigabi Kisasaka now. Armel's complaining that they love Gabby way more than they love him. Gabby's telling that to me, you didn't fulfill your promise.
Of what?
Gabby's styling them all. I have no clue. Tim's just randomly pops and says, good for Batoy, he has a love life.
What's Batoy?
One of them's probably nicknamed Bitoy, I guess.
John, you have to be the worst translator
but I don't know who Bitoy is. It's a name. It's a nickname. Like, meh. I don't know who has a love life, but Bitoy, I guess, you're having a good time. Good for you. Good for you, Bitoy.
Well done, Batoy. If that is your real name.
Probably a nickname. Probably.
Bot lane. Could be an early fight. Gabby going to get tossed back into Nico. Nico doesn't go for the spirit side.
It's time now for the final fight.
Okay. I could have sworn that was an easy first blood.
I mean, you take a look at Bach. He lost about half his HP just taking hits from March. So it's a weird back and forth for 032. They do steal 3 bounties versus TNC's 1. So it's a bit of an early start for them. That's going to help the mid out. You've got Nico on the DP up against Armel. There's that Spirit Siphon, so you can start to apply that pressure on Armel, offset that Shadow Strike that comes out. And Nico, saw him in game 1, he struggled. This time around, DP isn't as prone to being dominated, so there should be more leeway here. But Armel's already off 4-0, so he's got to find some last hits here.
Boogie gonna have a bit of a struggle up at this top lane up against Tim's on that Mirana. Never fun as the Chen to have to trade with that Mirana, especially when you do have to consider the fact that she'll have arrow and, well, your creeps will just guaranteed die as long as that arrow does connect. And Tim's is doing Tim's things. He's just annoying the other team by arrowing the small camp and making it so they can't even pull that away. It's just these little mischievous plays from Tim's that make him a very, very good position for.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a bit of a challenge up against him, and he's so comfy in that Mirana as well. And he always finds the range creep, so you're going to have that steady flow here. KP has his work pretty much made easier because of that. Natsumi still finding decent last hits, but it's coming at a bit of a cost. He does have the early ring of regen to sustain, so that ramp up here for the AM going to be important. Has the Mask of Madness queued up, Mike? I don't think we've ever seen that on AM, but looks like that's what Natsumi wants first.
That's a God King build, John.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it.
Can split that up later on. Make some other items for himself. But for now, go for the MOM build. It does allow you to escalate quite fast in terms of farm because you can hit the jungle much faster. But the problem, I guess it's not really too much of a problem to it. It's a pretty decent build. Bottom lane, Gabby, going to be up against Bok and Matthew. He'll have March there on the Venomancer to keep him safe. Everything going very smoothly for Gabby as we speak. He's just farming freely and now throws out the stun with a Gale out onto Bok. And Bok is going to be forced to just TP all the way to the fountain. And he'll have to make the walk of shame back with no boots.
Yeah, it's going to be a slow going process. And Gabby is really dominating this lane. We talked about the Tide. Maybe applying that pressure, it's not quite working out that way. It's down to March. And we saw it at the runes, but even up till now, you just don't want to take those hits from the Veno. And you can see him, again, keeping lane equilibrium up with his pulse. 032, there's a lot here riding on Matthew to have to make use of this Tiny early on. Is level 2, so he's got the Avalanche Toss. It's just, he can't close the gap. He's got Tranks up. it's just so difficult to run into a Veno. Maybe you look down mid, but Armel is pretty mobile, and he can just blink away. It makes it tough to find opportunities.
Yeah, I love the fact that Armel just goes for the very short blink, understanding the distance he needs to snap the siphon, but not blinking too far away that he's going to miss any form of CS. Matthew gonna try for a rotation on that Tiny, but it's gonna make it very, very obvious, and we'll have to go back to help out Bok, I believe, as Bok is being slowed up. Gabby has the stun. We'll throw it out, and they're happy to make the chase for Bok. Poor old Bok. He doesn't even bother trying for the TP. He'll just go down, and of all people, March somehow gets the first blood.
Oh yeah, gonna appreciate that subsidy on the Veno, and it's well deserved for the amount of pressure he's been pumping out still. This is a worrying sign for 0-3-2. I mean, they're finding that courier, which is nice. Good play out from Matthew, but Gabby 27-1 with a kill assist under his belt. This is a better start than even the AM, and even with a mom build, a Sven can clear stacks a lot faster.
He can. Go for the large camp pull. It was disrupted there from Bok. As we've been looking down at the bot lane, I had to just quick look back up top, and Natsumi is actually farming extremely well now on that A. Just 29-6 on this anti-mage. So go ahead and secure a bounty rune for themselves, excuse me. And, well, that's good news for 0-3-2, the fact that Natsumi is able to basically freely farm.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of space. This lane matchup for KP isn't the best. And he's keeping himself low because you're not going to find kill ops with Swash. And if you do have mana, that gives Natsumi more damage in trades. So you're fine like this.
Very low on this Veno. Gonna cop another anchor smash, but he survives on...
Wow.
8 HP. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, just perfectly balanced, and...
Matthew?
Man, that was just 1 second off.
Matthew, you could go for the blind avalanche on the right side, but looks like he does want to save the mana. Had a quick peek to make sure March wasn't in the other tree line, and March... Well, he's stuck in a very awkward position, but he has his courier out, and as every good support does, just all support items.
Oh yeah, that's what you like to see still. 0-3-2, they've got this level 6 on Nico. I don't know if they can make anything now. It's way too early. They're going to have to sit back for a minute 30. Maybe you find a gank with it, but the objective is going to wait until the 7.5 minute mark. That's what we tend to see. And with that, Spike not doing much, I think Armel's comfy. He's got a regen on top. He's got the Sonic Wave ready. They do have an aggressive move from Tims at the back if they want to attempt something as well.
They bring Matthew up top lane to try and get a kill onto KP, but he's going to be fine. So Matthew not having the greatest luck to start off his game on the Tiny. He has been involved in 0 kills so far. On the brighter side, they are going to be able to scout out this pretty big stack. They're just going to pull it away. It's not really going to mean too much. I don't believe they'll have enough to try and take this. But they could always call somebody else to take it later on, and they're going to look to Armel. That mid lane, Nico, going to get the siphon off. Now, the Exorcism is going to be popped. Armel is going to be tossed back. Doesn't have the blink, but does have the Sonic Wave. It is not going to be enough, however, to kill off Nico. Only issue being for Nico is I don't believe he'll be able to use this Exorcism as well as he wants to. In fact, that Shadow Strike is still going, and he'll survive on 44 HP.
You hurt the
Yeah, it's an okay first Exorcism, just going for the fight. You will still need to transition that to a push at some point. They do get to clear out the stacks, though. That's a big win for 0-3-2 in that sense,
If they
taking
take
away
them.
these stacks.
Unless KP steals all of them right now, like he's about to. No, they do not get them, John. Mel, he's going to force Ninja Boogie to TP, but
Ooh.
Tims, he's always on point with the arrows. And Ninja Boogie is going to die. And of course, they'll say thank you very much for helping out with this triple stack.
Yeah, it's still a lot of it going down to 0-3-2, but you're in a good spot here for TNC. 3-1, less than 1k lead in terms of gold.
Natsumi's
You've given a
having
lot of... What was that for, Natsumi? I wonder. What are they up to?
It was KP, I think. KP must have done something cheeky. Natsumi, by the way, does have that Mask of Madness up now, so he really should be able to farm quite a bit faster.
Yeah, that's the point where you really kick in as the AM. All he needs now is to maintain that space, and again, there hasn't been too much emphasis from TNC to stop him. At the same time, you've kind of done the same thing here in 032. Gabby also has his mom and the power treads, so he's looking a lot better with the initial farm. Does maintain a 300 gold lead and can start melting that jungle much, much quicker with his inbuilt cleave.
Bok just keeps pushing out that bot lane.
Should look at the bottom tower.
Gabby, go ahead and take some stacks for himself, going into that Mask of Madness and the Echo Saber. Once you've got the Echo Saber, should just be straight ags after that. You could opt for the BKB if you want, but I don't think Gabby's going to feel the necessity for it this game.
Nah,
Not
maybe-
before the ags.
No, definitely not. Maybe still picking it up just to ensure Ravage doesn't seem to do any harm, but not to me.
Natsumi is going to be the spot of danger. He does not have Blink yet. Rolling Thunder going to stun him once. KP does not have mana for the Swashbuckle. Meanwhile, mid lane, Ninja Boogie does go down to Armel on that Queen of Pain, and Tim's getting caught out there by Matthew does also go down on the Marana.
Yeah, I have to be cautious about the burst combination on Tiny. This is time to really start looking at 032 and expecting that push. They don't have Exorcism on Nico though. That's down for another 100. So it's going to be trickier to find additional objectives. That mid tier 1 really has to go now. But look at TNC. They see Bok. They're up top.
Yeah, they might just settle for the easy Tidehunter kill. I say easy, it's not really that easy, but with Armel up here and Gabby, it should be much easier than it was. They'll activate their DD rune on Armel. Bok, he does now have mana for the Ravage, and it looks like he might go in for it, but Nico, silence out, stopping the Sonic Wave from Armel, but he'll still go in and clean him up. Now Gabby, getting siphoned. Nico, he's kind of left himself in a corner here. Swashbuckle in from KB, gonna scout out Matthew. There's your Hand of God, but they are getting shredded. It'll be a double kill for Armel, and 3 going down altogether for 032, and then it'll also be their T1 tower being dropped by TNC.
Is no
Yeah, big wins for TNC. They're starting to apply that aggression, and 032, we talked about the timings they need to hit. They need to start finding the towers. It's TNC getting the push off. Not a good sign. They're still having steady farm on Natsumi, but the rest of the team needs to step up to the plate. They need to play around a Ravage. They need that Exorcism to be back up. Defend their tier 1 mid. If they lose this tower, then a lot of control starts to slip away here.
T2 mid tower. I'm sorry, T1 mid tower dropping very fast. Matthew gonna juke out that arrow from Tim's. Going for an avalanche, but Gale won't connect. Still Stormhammer coming in from Gabby. He does now have the Echo Saber up. Nico gonna go for the Exorcism. He's gonna give this a crack and see if he can try to get this T1 tower down. Very important they can get it down as well, as this is what his hero does. Looks like this should be it. I mean, Bok has the Ravage, so you don't necessarily want to fight into this. KB is threatening to start rolling. And he's going to go for it. The Avalanche won't be there in time, and... Oh, Nico! Oh boy, that's not good. Now Bok. Well, he's going to walk off.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That is your... Oh, Tim's. Lands an arrow again. Toss away from Matthew. Stormhammer going to fly out from Gabby, but he just wants that T1 mid tower, and that is exactly what they will go ahead and take.
Oh man. Tier 3
Arrow.
It's just not safe. Oh,
Are
my
they
God.
not
Seriously?
seeing these arrows, Tims? Sonic Wave is out. Bok is going to commit the Ravage and try to turn now. He might make it out of this. The Avalanche Toss going to actually kill off Gabby. It's a massive pick-off. Mel, however, trying to go on to Nico, but is running low on mana. So he'll get out of there. And of course, Tims is going to stick around and
On the hunt for Radiant's
just soak XP off Bok, but eventually will Maybe TP back down to the bot lane where Natsumi has been forcing in that bottom wave. However, he blinks right into KB. They don't have the lockdown though, I don't believe. Natsumi is able to blink away.
It's an awkward spot for Natsumi, but he's still finding that space. So 032 with the trades are building up at the AM. We need to see, again, on-point usage of the Exorcism of the Ravage. So they're going to have to wait for that combination to be up. Gabby, for his part, has to be a bit cautious. They do have good damage here. He's actually opting for the BKB first. So he will have spell immunity up. He will have a way to just man up and fight once he has that item. I think that's the smart play. Enables him to be just up in front where he wants to be. And TNC, they just sit back. They keep farming up on Gabby. They need some initial items on Armel. I mean, he has had a decent game, but no first item yet. Waiting for that Orchid. Once you have that, I think you're going to be more confident with that Quap. You can start to look for more pickoffs, but before that, it has been mixed. So you'll need that burst tool down first.
The Roshan gets started. It's not going to take very long with this God Strength active from Gabby. It'll be very easy, in fact. 032, it seems like they might have an idea that it is happening. As Matthew is taking out a playboard as we speak, but they are going to be way too late. That'll be your Aegis going to Gabby.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
With that now, they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Yep, they welcome that jungle. There are wards, so 032 should be aware of that positioning. Bach is still forward though. Is going to have Ravage. Maybe they want to counterplay around that, but mid.
Yeah, March has been caught out. They got the stuns there. They have the control, and March is still trying. He will eventually poison over as the rest of his team does come in. And Nico is not going to like this trade at all. Not if it costs him his own life, and it will. Armel able to take the kill on the Quap. With that, it's just not worth it. A position 5 for a position 2. Definitely not what 032 wants to see.
No, and that mid-tier 1 mic, it's still up, 16-minute mark. Without that progress and objectives, 032's draft starts to taper off. They need those initial towers. They've only found 1 tier 1. They need to get the exorcisms going and just melt some objectives here.
Oh, looks like they have found out the Chen, so that'll be your Chen going down. Ninja Boogie. It's not really feeling very safe along this map as there is so many mobile heroes from TNC, and they're going to go ahead and take the ancient stacks as well from this dire end. Now, Natsumi is still working towards that Battle Fury build after the MOM. Just almost there with the Ring of Health. I suppose once he does have that up, he just has more farming to do though. That's the thing. So it doesn't really stop.
No, it really doesn't, and you've got this blink up on Matthew that can enable some aggressive plays, but they just haven't found the openings. They need to reveal that blink on the Tiny, but
they're going to make the jump onto Matthew. So that's your blink Tiny gone. Gabby looking to turn onto Bok. He does have the Ravage, but he doesn't want to commit it. He knows his team wants to retreat, and the Sonic Wave out from Armel is going to be more than enough. In fact, KP is not done. He does catch out Ninja Boogie, and that'll be Armel getting a double kill now on the Quap. And Gabby will get started on that mid-tier 2 tower.
oh man, you can tell Matthew was trying to find that opportunity, but they have wards deep in here from TNC. No safe movements out in the triangle. Have to reconsider that movement out still. Battle Fury up and Natsumi, but
Hot lane. Blink away, but Armel also has a blink, and yeah, that counter spell will not help. Up against the right click of Armel. That's a massive pickoff. I mean, that's the guy you're relying on to be able to carry you through the late game. Yeah, he does have the Battle Fury up, but again, all that means is he's going to want to farm more. Sure, he can split push the lanes more effectively now, but I mean, you look at Gabby, he got the BKB and he's going to go into the Aghanim Scepter. When he has the Ags up, there's really no stopping him.
no, there isn't. Like, Maybe you catch him out without the BKB first, but I don't know. There's no burst damage to melt him before he can get the BKB off anyway. So it's really difficult here for 032. They just need to take more time, which again is counterintuitive to the DP draft, but they do smoke up.
Oh, good, March. Gonna use the Poison Nova straight off the bat. You use that Foot of Defiance for Bok to keep him up and running. Arrow again gonna land on Bok. Not really the target they want to go after, but he's been stunned up for 5 seconds. So now they'll roll in. KB, he'll take care of the back lines. He'll make sure Matthew cannot blink anywhere. Bok, he'll commit a massive Ravage and now a Mana Void. Natsumi turning it around. They've lost Armel. They've lost the Aegis on Gabby. And they've lost his God Strength. So Gabby, he'll make a run, but there is no way out this time. And Natsumi, with the Mana Void onto Armel, really turning this engagement around.
Yeah, it's a massive comeback for 032. Not out of the woods yet, but a smooth transition to a mid-tier 1 take. Gonna even out that map control a bit. You can see the potency when the spells do land. TNC, not quite finding enough damage to immediately burst Bok down. Have to be aware that Ninja does have a lot of regen. You know, it's that spike with the mech and the Hand of God. There's a lot flying out. You have to be conscious about Ninja Bogey's positioning here. Isolate him first, and you can have yourself a good time. Still, there's a lot of work 032 has to put in. Still more farm to get, but there are signs of life here.
And they are going to go back onto the Chen now, though. Ninja Boogie went in for the bounty, does get it, but it does cost him his life. And now Nico's been spotted. Mel likes what he sees. Nico going to try for the TP, but Tims will have the Yule's cancellation into the arrow, and that is going to be your position 2, dying once again. So signs of life, sure, but unfortunately TNC intends on taking that life away.
Yeah, they're not giving him any breathing room, and this is exactly how TNC should play. They're keeping that aggression up. They're not getting complacent here. Maybe they'd want to wait for Gabby's Ags, but beyond that, there's no timers here. There's nothing to wait for. There's a BKB for Armel coming up soon. And once you have that, even your Quap's going to be in a very good spot to just stand and fight. So 032 have to be conscious about those BKB timings. It's going to cause them some trouble, especially since they're relying on Bok to land these massive ravages. And with a BKB, it's not going to be landing every single time anymore.
Top lane, Matthew. Going to be around to defend, but TNC appear to want to try and go after that tier 2 tower. Again, with Gabby, it's not going to be too challenging to do so. They are going to at least force out a glyph for now. Back into it, Gabby doesn't have any patience. Matthew will blink away. I wonder how much more time Natsumi's going to need on this AM. I mean, it's not like he's farming slow at all. He's farming at a very, very nice rate. It's like, at what stage can he really start committing to these big team fights?
It's going to be a while. After a Manta, you're going to be better off, but smoke play.
Well, Matthew didn't get the avalanche toss. Yules, Arrow, Tims, once again, Ravage is going to be forced out. They're going to try for KP on that Pangolier, and they will get him. But now Armel jumping in. He does not have that Sonic Wave up yet, though, but they get Matthew on the Tiny. On to March. Slowing him down, and Natsumi will join in and take the kill. Or rather, Bok does. So a 2-for-1, a positive trade for 032. Only problem being is you commit the Ravage, you commit the Exorcism, and you probably aren't going to be able to get an objective.
No, that's a big one. And we talked about that from the draft. You need to do that in Gabby. Sneaky play.
It's going to try and go for it, but we'll realize with the Exorcism ending, there is no chance in hell. He still wants to play, though. But judging by the fact that he's, 1.4k away from that Ags, he's probably better off just farming that up.
Yeah, it's almost done. Once you've got the Ags, Superman mode is on. You can close the gap easy. You can start chasing down the AM a lot better, and it gets TNC up to a very good point. Certain items still have to come out here. KP's Diffusal is being worked on as well. Once you have that, you're going to have even more damage out on the Pango. Over on the side of 032. We're looking for the disarm, although...
Well, they break a smoke there, thanks to Matthew, but Gabby wants to go after Bok anyway. The arrow connects with the Kraken shell. Gonna wear that stun off. It just is not gonna matter. They have the damage even through the tide. They want that T2 out of tower. It's the only one left out of that bot lane. Luckily for 032, Natsumi has pushed in the wave and has made sure they cannot go for that objective. Now, that does mean TNC might have to really just find something else to do.
Yeah, unfortunate, but they can't transition to an objective as well. And this is the power of the AM. At the least, it can stall out. You even have the Chen creeps helping out. You do lose them now, but makes it a bit more complicated to completely clear out that map. 032 just holding out. We might catch some stragglers here.
Matthew? Oh, Matthew.
Yikes.
Bot lane. They are chasing Natsumi. He is... Oh, KP actually misses out but knows where he is. So he goes for the stun with the follow-up stun from Gabby. Make it another. And Natsumi is not going to have time to blink away.
Oh boy, it's a long respawn for the AM, no buyback gold as well. Gonna be a pretty big opening for TNC if they do want to get a shove in that tier 2 bot. And Bok?
Gonna keep going, Gabby. He's got the Ags on the courier. Love it right now, but it'll be there in about 10. In fact, it won't even matter because Ninja Boogie has been caught by Armel and he's been left to Gabby. Gabby, the executioner of TNC, will now have his Aghanim Scepter up. Even KP picking up a Diffusal Blade just to be ever so annoying on that Pango.
Yeah. It's lining up here for TNC. 032. They need more time. Like, they're going to have a disarm on Bok relatively soon. 400 gold away from that one. And once you've got that Heaven's Halberd, you can make it difficult for Gabby. The issue is you still have to contend with Armel. That's another issue entirely. Hey, we've been talking about the timings for Natsumi. He is saving up for the basher. It's just way too far off.
Tim's arrow onto Bok. AP just going to come in for a cheeky little swashbuckle. TNC looks like they are going to head for the Roshan pit now. Still feeling like it's a very free game for TNC, as they do have the 13k net worth lead, and Dota Plus is sitting at 90%. Not all bad news for 032, but, you know, 90% is still very high. Seems like they are aware the Roshan is happening, however, so they could go for a big team fight. They have the Ravage. They need to get there quick. They don't have the blink so much. He's going to cut them off with the Gale, and now Gabby, Superman flying in. The BKB will make sure the Ravage does nothing, and Bok is set to die here to this Sven as Armel goes for the rest. KP controlling him up, and Armel giving him the whip. Natsumi, the only man to survive. It's a 16k net worth lead now, 032. They are running out of options.
Yeah, it's getting difficult. Their high ground defense isn't particularly good either, 032, especially with Ravage down. So they're going to have to see these objectives. It's going to be a straightforward shove. The best you can hope for from Natsumi is to cut the creep wave, which he is going to do. Takes out the AC. Wow, just taking out a lot of value items in the couriers. That is worthwhile, and March just takes our null for that.
Well, it'll be TNC with their first racks. It's like Natsumi is just farming. They do have backdoor protection to kick in, so 032 only going to lose a melee barracks for now. But with the lead they have, TNC probably will feel like they can take another top rats. And it's not like there's any pressure on the map right now. Natsumi he doesn't have any creep waves, so he can't go after the tier 2 towers that are still standing.
No, and again, all he can do is cut. Gabby can just melt through everything. There's that disarm on Bok, but it's not going to be enough to stop this push.
No, it's not. And Matthew, looks like he's been caught out, and Gabby flying through. Matthew cannot blink away. He'll try and turn, but he's been silenced Now Bok, still with no Ravage, can't save Ninja Boogie, who does die once again to Gabby. KP will roll through the Rolling Thunder. They do get the buybacks out. Matthew, do not begin like that, sir. He's going to go down, and he's just been baited by Armel. A triple kill for Gabby, and it might just be more as Nico has been caught, and this Sven is not done. Yules will be up, though. It will survive a bit longer, and Armel with the Sonic Wave will clean him up. But Gabby, he's on an Ultra. He'd love another Rampage, and Ninja Boogie will be that Rampage. And that'll be 2 games in a row for Gabby.
Gotta love it if you're Gabby. They gave the tips out. Not tapping out yet. Tier 3-2, but Tier 4 is under siege.
Oh, you can't tap out when you passed out, John. Just, they're gonna try. Natsumi gets the bash, Mana Void. It is not going to be able to finish off Gabby's Aegis, and Gabby, well, there goes your Aegis, but the GG has been called. Good attempt from 0-3-2, of course, but TNC just proving to be the stronger team today. And that does mean, John, that TNC will reclaim their first place spot in the groups.
Yep, they do go back on top. Be aware, TNC, they have played more series